All right. How about we hear a spooky story? And a true one at that. It started many years ago on an island out in the ocean, far off into the Pacific, 36 miles from Long Beach to be exact. I bet you don't know the name of this distant, far-out island. Okay, maybe you do. It's Catalina Island. Santa Catalina Island, darlings. Anyways, this took place not in Avalon, the place where things often took place, but on the West End. It was a place called Two Harbors. On one side, the same side as Avalon, was the Isthmus, and on the other side was Catalina Harbor, better known as Cat Harbor. Now, the reason this story doesn't take place in one or the other harbor, but two harbors themselves, is because, excuse me, because we lived in Cat Harbor, but we're visiting the Isthmus, like we did sometimes every day, sometimes not. Anyhow, the locals from the Isthmus had their ghost stories, like most small town locals do. This, by the way, was in the 80s, in case you didn't know that. Anyways, so they had their ghost stories, and we were Christians, and we didn't believe in ghosts. The only ghost we believed in was the Holy Ghost. Otherwise, if you saw ghosts, you were either just seeing things, maybe on drugs, or they were demons or angels, but not ghosts. Get it straight, darling. Anyhow, these people were obviously making this stuff up. We thought that until one night we saw the ghost ourselves. And it was no demon. And we were pretty sure it wasn't an angel either. I think we all started to doubt our own sanity. And when I say all, I mean my mom, my dad, my sister, and me. I was 11 at the time, and my sister was 14. Okay, so it was late at night. And you see, on Two Harbors, they didn't have lighting everywhere. So if there was no moon out, it was pitch black. We could see the glow of the mainland from the Isthmus, but it didn't reach all the way to the island. So sometimes you could barely see your own hand in front of your face if you were out at night with a cloud covering the moon and stars, which was exactly what was happening on this very night. We had just left the, I think we called it the lab. I have no idea what we called it, the lab. It was a dormitory during the summer, and in the winter it was pretty much nothing, so various families would use it, and ours having lived on being liveaboards on a boat, we found it a nice place to hunker down sometimes during storms and cook and hang out with friends. However, on this night, for some reason, we decided to go back to the boat. This very dark night. The moon was trying to make an appearance from time to time through the clouds, but was mostly failing. As we walked along, the only thing we were concerned about was wild animals, like buffalo. Why we called them buffalo, I don't know. They were bison, but we called them buffalo. They were not dangerous or harmful, but really not something you wanted to literally run smack into. So we would try to find the glimmer of their eyes, which is usually helped by the moon. So we were basically staring into the dark intently the best we could. We weren't too concerned about the wild boar because we knew where the trash cans were, and we knew how to avoid that area. As far as the wild goats and the wild domesticated cats, yes, I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but I'm not going to go into it right now. They hung out in the hills, so we didn't really have to worry about them. Just mostly the bison. We walked along silently, and as we neared a patch of woods, we suddenly all stopped at the same time and stared intently at this white ghostly figure. I mean, no figure. It was a figure with no figure, as it kind of went in and out of the trees. we suddenly started to doubt our own faith in not believing in ghosts. I think I may have said that wrong, but I think you get the idea. Because we all saw it and we confirmed it. We stepped one step at a time and got closer, and bravely we kept going forward until suddenly the moon came out just enough for us to make out the white figure did indeed have legs and a head and ears, and it was a horse. And it wasn't just any horse. It just happened to be the local horse, whose name was Spook. Yeah, it was the horse Spook. See, in the wintertime, the horses and the dogs got to run free. They didn't have to be pinned up, and they all enjoyed that freedom immensely. And the horses, yeah, they were something else. If you don't know much about horses, I'll tell you, they can be real characters. Anyways, this one was no exception. And I don't think he was scaring us on purpose, but at the same time, something tells me he didn't mind it either. Anyways, we went back to the boat. We thought the whole thing was hilarious. And the next day, we tried to tell the local townspeople who their ghost really was. But they didn't believe us. Okay, that's the end of my scary story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a lovely day. Also, by the way, I think it is really strange to say that one's beliefs make more sense than somebody else's beliefs. Yeah. No. I'm sorry, that just doesn't work. You can't just say, hey, you're superstitious, because I'm right, and my superstition isn't superstitious. Your superstition is. Ha ha ha. Yeah, so I don't know. It'd be a much better world if we'd all stop doing that to each other. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the story, and have a lovely evening.